Hey guys, what's going on? So, today on the channel we will be talking about the unconscious mind. Unconscious mind and victim mentality, and also at the end I'll give you 3 hacks so you can hack the unconscious mind and you can really, hack into it for we use this for manifestation, to make our dreams come true, to, change our lives, to change our literal psychology, to change our, our unconscious programming, basically. So we're going to learn how to hack the unconscious mind at the end of this video. So, first of all, let me just get right into it. So, what is the unconscious mind? The unconscious mind is, it's unconscious. That means that we are not aware of it. We're not, so let me just explain the 3 minds, or the 3 selves, or the three corresponding energy centers of the body. We have the higher self. This would be considered at the third eye there. This would be considered the superconscious, or the higher self. This would be in Norse mythology. This would be considered the dwarves, the ascended masters, right here. And then we have, you can't see it, but down at my navel here, we have the unconscious mind, and that would correspond to the dwarves. That would also be, we call this the lower dantian in Qigong. So this is the unconscious mind. It's in your gut. It's in your navel center. It's, just right below the camera frame. So yeah, that's the unconscious mind. And so when people say trust your gut or go with your gut, they're talking about your unconscious mind, and your higher consciousness, your higher self, delivers messages down to your unconscious mind, and then that gets processed and sent to your soul right here, which is in the heart center. And so yeah, when people say trust your gut or go with your gut, that means that, this is also how divination works, actually. So it's interesting. So what happens is you get messages from your higher self that go down to your lower self. That gets processed, and depending on how well your unconscious mind, or your lower self, or it would be the dwarves in Norse mythology, how well they work, how well that's programmed is determining how well you get the messages from your higher self. So, so the better you're programmed, the more messages you will get. So, and that's where our instincts come from too, is our gut. So, so that's where our unconscious mind is. So, yeah, so let me just check this. Yep, it's good. I did some work on my microphone there, and I, adjusted the levels and whatever. So, all right. So now we have your higher self, your lower self, and your soul sitting in the middle. And so in shamanism, we have the higher realm, which would be like the heavens, the celestial realm, the heavens, where we get messages from the higher self. And then we have the lower realm, which is like the caves, the underground, the subterrestrial realm, I guess. And that would be the lower self. So anyway, moving on, I'm gonna talk a little about the unconscious mind. So The unconscious mind is programmed or imprinted within the first 3 years of life by the people that you are around the most. This is your parents or your primary caregivers if it's not your parents, basically. And the way this works is, everybody has an unconscious, and so they project that they unconsciously project that. So your little 3-year-old, you as a baby, you were absorbing, because when we're babies, we're not fully conscious. We're in this brainwave state where I think it's called a theta brainwave or something like that. Theta state. Anyway, we're in this trance, this brainwave state where we're absorbing all the information around us, and it's just coming at us, 24/7. And so, so what happens is with our primary caregivers, or I'm just going to use, parents, because most people are raised by their parents. So yeah, when our parents, when we're around our parents, we get these unconscious messages from them, and they, again, they're not conscious, so they're not aware of of the messages that they're sending you, so it's not their fault either. And this is something that I've learned in therapy, recently. So yeah. So we're constantly getting messages, and it's not even verbal messages. It's unconscious, signals, because we all have these things called auras, or energy fields. Basically, it's about about a 5-foot radius around our bodies that we project our energy into. So whenever you're being coddled by your mother, or held by your father, you're absorbing the messages that they're sending out through their unconscious. And so it's a very subtle, unspoken messaging system that we have. And how you kind of get an intuition about somebody when you see them, whether at at the grocery store or whatever, or just walking down the street. You kind of know when somebody means harm and when they don't, when they mean to be friendly. And so this is kind of a subtle messaging system that we have as humans with each other. And so people have described this as vibes, or the vibes that you get off of somebody. It's your intuition about somebody, about your intuition about other people. And so that's kind of the thing that we are tapping into here in the unconscious. So your unconscious mind is responsible for your mindset, your core beliefs, your core assumptions, your worldview, your self-esteem, your self-confidence, and how you see yourself in relation to the rest of the world. It's everything, guys. It's so much of who we are. It's our lower human programming, our human conditioning, our human I guess programming or conditioning would be the right word. Because so here's what happens when you wake up in the morning. So when you go to sleep, your mind processes all the events that happen throughout the day. It's like your hard drive is full, and so it has to go in and defragment and see what's needed, see what's the information that's needed, and the information that's not needed. And so it kind of sorts through your daily events and saves what is needed, what it thinks is needed or valuable, and it discards what it thinks is just useless information. So that's how that works. So, and most of the time that we spend sleeping is doing this, because like a well-functioning, like say an older person who's like 80 years old or whatever, they go to bed early and they get up early. They sleep about 4 or 5 hours a night, and that's all they need, or whatever it is, because the human body doesn't require a ton of sleep, to function every day. 4, 5, 6 hours is pretty good. So, but the rest of the time, the rest of the time, like, so while our body is resting and replenishing itself, our psyche or unconscious mind is, sorting through the events of the day and all that stuff. So yeah. So what else was I going to talk to you about? So, oh yeah, when we wake up in the morning. So when we wake up in the morning, our brain boots up, our brain boots up, and our core programming, our operating system basically kicks in, and we go, that's like all the information on the hard drive is like our human identity. So when we wake up in the morning, our human identity kicks in, and we go, my name is this, and I was born here, and I, blah, blah, blah. All the information about our identity is, and our human identity and our perception of the world and all that kicks in when we wake up, and, like kind of orients us into who we are and our place in the world and all that. So, let me just grab a drink here. So yeah. So this is it can be, it can be very hard depending on how you were programmed, because here's the thing. What separates a homeless man from a multimillionaire? What separates a businessman from a thief or a bum? It's the unconscious mind. It's your perception of the world, of your perception of yourself in relation to the rest of the world. It's it's how you were programmed as a kid. And so, if you had good parents, and all of us have this negative unconscious programming, whether we were raised by the best of parents or by the worst. I mean, it just, it's, nobody's perfect. We're all human, and so we all have a bit of a messed up unconscious, to one extreme or the, like, to one, to an extent, to whatever extent that is for you personally. So, yeah. So, basically what should happen in a healthy childhood is, your mother should love you unconditionally, give you all the love, nurturing, the support, and everything that you need. and you know, the unconscious message should be that you're loved no matter what. Like, you're loved unconditionally, regardless of, what you do. You're loved for being a human, being a person on this planet. And so, we love that you're here, kind of thing. So, but a lot of times that doesn't happen, and a lot of times mothers and parents are well meaning, but they really imprint their kids with negative messages. Like, for example, my mom, when I was very little, I mean, she's changed a lot since I was a kid, but my mom was a perfectionist. So, she at work she was hard on herself, and she had to have everything just perfectly right, and that rubbed off on me. So yeah, and so I had a whole bunch of self-esteem issues and whatever, because I wasn't Mr. Perfect. So of course I was wrong for not being perfect. So then I said, okay, well, if I'm not perfect, then I'm not even gonna try bothering doing anything in life. And so I didn't. I just spent my 20s kind of, well, I had a medical condition, and I basically spent my 20s in front of the computer, playing video games and, screwing around, not really focusing on why my soul was here, why my soul is here, and, connecting to my passions and my interests and my hobbies. Like, I was living a slow death. Slow death. And, it was pretty bad for a lot of years. Major depression, major anxiety, and other things like that. And yeah, so I don't know how I survived, but I did. At some points, I didn't want to survive. Well, the majority of my life, much less my adult life, I was not in a good place at all. So, yeah. So, your unconscious programming can really, vary. But most people have, some sort of unconscious issue. So now we'll talk about victim mentality. This is not foreign to me at all. The majority of my life, I was guilty of being in a victim mentality. I kind of, I I was into conspiracy theories, and Alex Jones, 9/11 truthers, and all kinds of crazy shit. But I got past that. So yeah. So victim mentality. Now, why do we have victim mentality? Usually, 9 times out of 10, it's because we, well, our parents didn't love us enough, and it really comes down to that. Our parents didn't love us enough, and we don't trust our parents, or like, that's the whole reason for the conspiracy theory thing, is not being able to trust people. So, or not being able to trust anything, really. the flat earthers, they don't trust they don't trust science at all. They don't, it's crazy. And so we've gotten into this point in the world where we don't trust anything. We can't believe anything, so much stuff is faked on the internet or whatever. I mean, I don't know. It's just but if you actually get a proper education and do the right research, then you'll come to the truth. You'll figure out the truth. If you know how to do your research and whatever, if that even matters to you. To me, I don't really care either way, whatever. Because like even if this conspiracy stuff is true, then I mean, it doesn't bother me because I know people are out there fighting against it and doing whatever, so it doesn't bother me. And also, I know that even if it is true, I don't have to live in that reality. But people who are focused on it being true and obsessed over it, they make that their reality to distract themselves from their own misery, basically. That's just my perspective on it. So anyway, victim mentality. Oh, I read a book a few years back called The Complaint-Free World, and I made a video on the channel. I forget how long ago, but yeah, you can find it on the channel. Complaint-Free World. So yeah, so victim mentality, basically the thing is with victim mentality, you have something in you that this like unexpressed anger or unexpressed resentment. It might be unconscious or whatever, but it's in there. So, and this is, because, people with victim mentality, they feel powerless over their lives. They really do. As a former person, as a person who formerly was in a state of victim mentality, I felt like there's nothing I could do to control or to control my life or anything. I felt totally powerless and totally, thrown into the abyss, basically. I had no way to, get a sense of myself in the world and, get, a sense of how much power I have over my life and my reality. So, yeah, so it basically comes from, a sense that you have no control over your life, and I'm here to tell you, as someone who has plenty of reason to have a victim mentality, you have plenty of control over your life. Let's see. Shall I, go into my victim mentality mode and give you all the reasons why I'm such a victim and I'm so screwed in life? No. I'll give you the reasons though. But I'll tell you, my new perspective and how my perspective has changed. First of all, you might have noticed I'm visually impaired. My left eye is completely blind. So I'm completely blind in my left eye. My right eye is, it actually works pretty good. It's still, 2200 vision, and I have no like peripheral vision kind of thing. Yeah, but so that sucks, but whatever. I can still see, I can still do my work, I can still, come on here and chat with you guys, so it's all good. Um, and that's the kind of mentality you have to have. It's like, life threw me this, but okay, I'll deal with it and you know, counter with a left, kind of thing. So so yeah, so visually impaired. What else? I'm short. I have a pituitary imbalance or pituitary, something's wrong with my pituitary gland. That's what caused my shortness. My thyroid is have a basically hypothyroidism, so I have to be on medication for that, which thankfully I got on, about eight months ago or so. And yeah, life's been pretty good for the past 8 months. And yeah, so what else? I mean, I have no job. I'm unemployed. Poor me. Um, you know, uh, but hey, I don't want a job. That's not what I want to do. This, what you're watching right now is my full-time job. You can go over here and support me by, hey, it's not like you're donating to me or anything. It's, my courses that I teach or my, Vedic astrology that I do for you guys. So yeah, point of this video, or point of this segment in this video, is victim mentality. So, I would say I have more reasons than the average human being to have a victim mentality. I don't, and I've changed that. But yeah, you know, life's you could say life has dealt me a pretty bad hand, but I choose to see it differently, and I'll explain how I see it. So, there's an assumption, so I told you that your unconscious mind controls your assumptions about the world and about your life and all this stuff, right? Well, you can change that. See, I had the assumption that, that I was, this victim earlier in life because I wasn't like other people. I wasn't like other kids. I wasn't like other kids my age or adults my age. I was very different, and I'm cool with that now. So how I see, basically my assumptions, my beliefs, my views about the world are based on the soul. So your soul, no matter what, no matter, I can tell you this, no matter where you're at right now in life, no matter your circumstance, no matter your situation, whatever, your soul chose to manifest as a human being in your body. Your soul chose your disability. Your soul chose your chemical imbalances. Your soul chose your endocrine imbalances. Your soul chose your blindness, your visual impairment. My soul chose that. My soul chose to come down and manifest in this world exactly how I am. That's how I choose to see it. And why is that? Was that to, because of some bad karma? Was that because because my soul wanted to feel like a victim? No. Because life is a game, ladies and gentlemen. Life is a game. Life is a challenge. And so, if you have God mode on in GTA, Grand Theft Auto video game, if you have God mode on, how fun is GTA? How fun are the missions? How fun are the objectives and things that you have to do in that game? Not very fun, because you could easily just wipe out everybody and get to the objective like that. So life, if life is not challenging, it's not fun for the soul. This is a huge point, guys. If life is not challenging, it's not fun for the soul. Your soul has fun overcoming your karma. That's fun for the soul. So your soul enjoys, the challenge of overcoming your karma, overcoming your unconscious programming, all that negative programming, all that crap that you've been programmed with, all the low self-esteem, all the victim mentality. Your soul wants to overcome that. Your soul wants to lift you up out of the depths of your depression, out of the depths of your suicidal thoughts and your lowest points, your rock bottom. Your soul wants to lift you out of that and shine, and make you shine, make you shine like, as I was gonna say, as the song would go, like a diamond, but yeah, that's pretty much what it is. In fact, my instructor, my teacher, my guru, his soul purpose, his soul mission that his soul gave him was something about shining bright, like shining so bright into, the lives of others, to empower and enlighten the world, basically. And that's just amazing. Like, he's overcome a lot of unconscious crap himself, so yeah, this stuff is very powerful, guys. These lessons are very powerful if you take heed to them, if you understand them, if you, well, not even, you don't even have to understand them. You just have to assume, take on the assumptions that I just gave you. Your soul is here for the challenge. Your soul is here to overcome the obstacles. And so, when you do self-destructive things, it just it's understandable, but it's taking away from your soul journey, the journey that your soul has for you. So yeah. Now, I hope I'm not peaking on this mic. Hope the audio is okay for you guys. Let me know if it is. I'll probably review this footage before I upload it. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to talk about, okay, so I have in my notes here, locus of control. So, even the person who has the most reason to have a big victim mentality, life is a choice. You always have the choice. I know it doesn't seem like it. I know your unconscious programming makes you think that it's not a choice, that this is just how it is, but I'm telling you, victim mentality is a choice. there's two ways that you can respond to life. There's two ways that you can view the world and your relationship to the world. One is an internal locus of control. That means that you have the control. I have the control. You have the control. That means that you are responsible for your life. That means that you must take responsibility for it. You are the cause in the law of cause and effect. You are at the cause. You are responsible for everything that happens in your life. And I know it's challenging. I know your soul gave you this big challenge to overcome, and it's daunting, it's scary, it's it's not nice, it's not cool at times, it's scary, frustrating, all those things. But you have a choice. You can choose to have an internal locus of control, take responsibility, and change the things that you're unhappy with in your life. Because we do have more control over our lives than we give ourselves credit for. For example, I thought that my low energy and my hypothyroidism. I went undiagnosed with hypothyroidism for the first 30 years of my life. Well, 32 actually, 33. Yeah, 33 years of my life. And that was undiagnosed, and I just thought, oh, this is, this really sucks because I have no energy and, I can't do much. But, doing these practices over here, I learned how to, it basically manifested a heart, like my heart was hurting, like my chest was hurting, and so I went and saw a doctor. I got concerned enough to go and see a doctor. And before doing this challenge right here, I wouldn't have done that. I was probably just laid in bed and wanted to die. Honestly, like that's how bad the depression and all that was. But yeah, so you have more control over your life than you give yourself credit for. Trust me. And I'm wearing this wrong side. This Maui shirt. I was in Hawaii last year. Yeah, I was in Hawaii last year, and for a guy who makes less than how do I say this? Less than 5 digits per year, or yeah, less than 10K per year. Yeah, I'm pretty lucky to be going to Hawaii and manifesting that. So and like when we went to Hawaii, my uncle has a friend who works at the Hyatt over there, and she like comped all our stuff, all our meals, our everything. So I didn't end up spending a penny. I just had to pay for my flight over there, and didn't end up spending a penny while I was there. That's pretty great. So you have control over your life. You can manifest whatever you want in life. And wearing this shirt, mark my words, I will one day live in Hawaii. If I don't live in Hawaii, I will definitely live in a tropical place or a subtropical place. That's the level that I'm moving on right now. So, you have total control over your life. Total control. And even if you don't have control practically, then your soul has control, over the things that you can't really, I should say your soul has control over the things that it seems like are impossible to change about your life. Okay? So, like my health condition, that was something that I thought I was going to live with for the rest of my life. Luckily, that's changed. Now, the victim mentality is the external locus of control. This is where you blame people, things, and events for your problems and circumstances in your life, and you complain about your situation. And this is why I love this book called The Complaint-Free World, because if you're complaining about a situation, if you're complaining about anything in your life, that means that you're unhappy with it, which means that you have the ability to control it. You have the ability to change it, to make changes in your life. So your complaints, if you analyze what you're complaining about, your complaints are actually a gift, because that makes you conscious of what you don't like in your life. And so what you don't like in your life, you need to figure out a way to change that. Basically, that's all complaining is. It's just, because like my teacher, he complained about, living in LA and it's so crowded, the beaches are so crowded, and, because he loves to surf, so he was like, the beaches are so crowded, I can't really get on any waves because there's too many people out there, and whatever. So he found himself complaining about this, and this was in 2019, the end of 2019, and he was, just looking for something else. He decided, okay, I'm going to stop complaining about this, and I'm going to do something constructive with it, and start looking for somewhere else that I can surf. Well, that manifested in him, in late 2019, moving to Australia, and he has empty beaches to surf, beautiful waves to surf. He has a tropical jungle forest, in the right nearby, like 10 minutes from his house. And he has the beach like 10 minutes from his house. He lives on the beach, so, so he manifested that. He manifested his perfect paradise. And that's the place that he will live for the rest of his life. At least he says that. So far, he hasn't found anything that's better than that. So, yeah, that's his perfect place. So, but also, he moved just in time, right before the coronavirus hit in LA. Before the coronavirus hit the United States and everything got locked down, because he's a very physical guy. He likes to, go to the gym and surf and whatever. And so, a lockdown would actually really, really suck for him. So his soul was telling him to get out of there, and that manifested as complaining about being in LA, this crowded place, and whatever. So, your complaints are your key to what you actually want in life. So, the external locus of control is not helpful. Blaming people, blaming things, blaming your parents. I mean, and anything I tell you guys, trust me, I'm guilty of it. I am guilty of it probably more than anybody else, so. Yeah, stop blaming people. You know, a good attitude or assumption to have is that your parents were just doing the best that they could at the time. I mean, my mom was 22 when she had me, so she was, she was just a kid. She she didn't know any better. So, that's what happened. So yeah. External locus of control. Stop blaming people, stop blaming things, stop blaming events, um, for your problems, and stop complaining about your situation. Well, I mean, it's actually a good thing that, well, I'm not saying that it's good that you complain, because too much complaining, just no. But, but if you analyze the things that you're complaining about, if they're petty stuff, that means that you're probably not too happy in the rest of your life, you know. Um, but if they're big things, then that shows you that um that that's something that you want to definitely get fixed, or change about your life. So, yeah. So victims change nothing and accomplish nothing with their lives. Don't be a victim. Um, Successful people are people who, they might come from a victim mentality, but they actually do something with their lives. They actually make the changes that they want to see in their lives. See, it's one thing. This is one thing, though, guys. Is it safer to just complain and be in your misery? Or is it safer to actually make some changes in your life? Which is safer? Which do you perceive as safer? Because for me, it was safer to just complain and bitch about my life. It was. It was easy. It was safe. It was, and I thought, this is just the way it's going to be for the rest of my life. No. But then I started doing this stuff and changed my whole life. Um, you know, so you have the choice: complain or change. Complain or change. And you absolutely have the power to change your life. One of the best ways to do that is by doing this: the self-transformation challenge. Changed my life. I mean, my life is like night and day compared to a year ago. I was miserable a year ago. I wanted to. Oh, I can't say that on YouTube, but yeah, you can imagine where I was going with that. Yeah, it was pretty bad, guys. Pretty damn bad. So, we talked about victim mentality. Okay, so now I will give you 3 ways to hack into your subconscious or unconscious mind. And first of all, first way to hack into your unconscious mind is you need a mantra. A mantra uses Kundalini energy, the human psychological energy of the body. And so doing a mantra to your dharma devata, which is your the deity or the planet that wants to help you clean out your unconscious mind. So doing a mantra to your dharma devata will help you clean out your unconscious blocks, your unconscious mind, your unconscious junk that you're you need to work through. So Vedic astrology reading. If you go and do this thing right here, Vincent.thunderwizard.com. If you go there and buy a Vedic astrology reading, you can get your personalized mantra for your Dharma Devata included in that. So you'll get that mantra included in that, and there's even a ritual that goes with it that I'll show you. So if you're interested in that, go to vincent.thunderwizard.com. And yeah. So that mantra, what that does is it goes, there's a deity that wants to work with you with your unconscious mind found in your navel center. So what that deity or that planet, because the planets correspond, or the deities correspond to different planets. So what that planet wants to do, or that deity wants to do, is it wants to go into your unconscious mind, and it'll just, basically your unconscious mind is like this sticky ball of goo. And so, but there's good things in it. There's good things. So what it'll do is it'll peel off all the bad things. It'll like defragment your hard drive. It'll, get all that gunk off there. And then you'll have the, the diamond that's left in there. And then that'll come to your conscious mind. Like, so like one of the good things that it does is it brings to your conscious awareness what your soul wants to do, your soul desire, things like that. And so if you're having a hard time figuring out your passions and things like that, this will definitely help with that. So you need a mantra. That's what the Vedic astrology reading over at vincent.thunderwizard.com is for, that up there in the white box. And then, so the second thing that you need is life force energy, or the Chinese call this qi energy, or qi. So life force energy. So here's another thing about your unconscious mind. Your unconscious mind is like a dog, basically. It can, in a way, so that dog, it can be a good dog, which is obedient and works for you, like a cattle dog kind of thing, where you actually send it to go out to work. Or it'll be a bad dog that's just, locked up in the apartment all day, not paying attention to, and it's locked up in the apartment all day, not being paid attention to. It's and it just tears up the whole apartment, tears up the whole house. So it can be a good dog or a bad dog. Now, there's this phrase there's this saying that goes, I forget who created it or who coined it, but basically it's like, there's a fight. There's two wolves are fighting. Who do you think will win? The wolf that you fed, or the wolf that you didn't feed? The wolf that's, fed and well cared for and taken care of, or the wolf that's not. So, so your unconscious mind is like this. And so your unconscious mind wants to create things for you. It wants to manifest things for you. It wants to go to work for you. Okay? And the thing about it is, if you're not giving it what it needs, then it's not going to take care of you, or it'll manifest, things like self-sabotage, where you're totally not aware, but you're, unconsciously self-sabotaging yourself. You're doing destructive things that, get you fired, or get you, put yourself in trouble or in danger, or whatever. But yeah. So yeah. So it's important that you feed your lower self, your unconscious mind, life force energy, chi, and that's the whole reason that I'm teaching this stuff. Now, this is the higher level stuff. This is this is definitely like if you did the whole program as I laid it out for you: morning practice, noontime practice, and nighttime practice. Then you would have your whole day, and that's a very, if you wanted to go monk mode and do that for 90 days, then you could do that. But even if you do just the nighttime qigong, which is in this program, you could do that too. So that's about 30 minutes at night, and that doesn't take a lot of time. So with life force energy, you're actually feeding your unconscious mind. You're nourishing it. You're taking care of it, and your unconscious mind can also be compared to a toddler, a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, a 1-year-old, a little baby. And so, for that little baby to grow up and be, a healthy, functioning person, it needs to be nourished. It needs to be loved. It needs to be taken care of. It needs to, be paid attention to. It needs to be soothed. And so, whenever you're having, crazy emotional issues or whatever, you really need to love yourself through that. Really need to parent yourself through that. Really need to mother yourself through that. Soothe yourself, nurture yourself, do, self-care I've found is so important. It's, incredibly important. And so, doing things like the Qigong here, making that a part of your self-care routine, that really helps. And so the more well taken care of your unconscious is, the more it'll want to please you, the more it will want to work for you, the more it will want to make you happy, make your soul happy. It's like it's if you compare like a kid who grew up in a really, really good, really stable home. Of course, nobody's perfect, but comparing that stability and that nourishment, and having a good good life, to a child who was abused, who was malnourished, who was abused mentally, emotionally, or whatever. If you compare the two, the one who's who had that nourishment is going to be more well off, or more well suited for human life, for human for just well prepared, well grounded for life in general. Whereas this one, has a lot of issues to work through. It has a lot of stuff to go through, to clear out of their, to work through, to process and whatever. So the unconscious mind is like this. It needs life force energy. So yeah, this is high level practices. If you want to jump into this, then you can go right ahead, and it's available. Again, guys, I will be adding 3 phases to this. Phase 1 is already up. That's already very high level practices. Phase 2 will be working with the elements, and Phase 3 will be working with the immortals, with the higher self, the ascended masters and things like that, getting that divine connection to our lower self. So, if you want that, then you need to go here. It's it's good stuff. So, also, let me just grab a drink real quick because my throat is killing me. Okay, so alright, yeah. So another thing that I'm so basically let me just start that all over. A course that I'm working on right now, it's actually in production right now. This new course that I'm working on, it's called Cosmic Qigong. Now, I'll admit I kind of jumped the gun a little bit because I gave you guys this huge, incredible, high power stuff before giving you like the basics. And so, I made this program, which is the high level stuff, before getting you just the basic stuff, just the entry level stuff. And so I realized that, a lot of people aren't as crazy as me. They don't want to go into this high level stuff just yet. They want to work on the basics and master the basics before they go on to the higher level stuff. So, with that, I am created. I am currently in production, in the process of creating a course called Cosmic Qigong. Cosmic Qigong. And so with that is like the basic entry level course that you can get to Qigong. And I will be making that available hopefully by the end of the month, I'm going to say. Hopefully by the end of the month. And yeah, so that course will be $30 on my Patreon. But if you just want to buy the course alone, that's it. Just buy it outright. It's going to be available on. I'm going to try to make it available on Gumroad or another site for $150 because it's still a very powerful course, even so if you're just getting into this stuff and into the things that I'm teaching and Qigong and Kundalini yoga and whatever, if you're doing this stuff on your own, then that course would be a good option to get because I'm making a $150 course available for only $30 on my Patreon. So that's a great deal. So anyway, that'll be coming later. So so that's the basic entry level. And also, if I don't know if you know this, but when you go subscribe to my Patreon, if you subscribe at this $55 level, the self-transformation challenge, you will get the celestial Qigong for free. Basically, it's because if you subscribe to the $55 tier, which is the self-transformation challenge, then you get every tier that's below that, which I will be creating more tiers. I have a lot of stuff to teach you guys and to show you and to work with you through. So you'll be getting everything below that for free, basically. Or if you want to think about it as you're buying the celestial Qigong for $30 a month, then you only pay $25 more for the for the Cosmic Qigong for $30. Then the Self-Transformation Challenge for $25. That's another way to look at it. But yeah, so with the Patreon, no matter what tier you're on, you will get every tier that's below that for free. That's how that works. So yeah, and I'll be even coming out with courses on Master Shamanism, Shamanism, on Magick. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for me to do videos on Magick again, like I used to do in the old days, in the early days of this channel. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I've learned that I'm eager to share with you guys. So, go subscribe on the Patreon. It's definitely worth it. So, so we need life force energy, we need mantras, and we need Kundalini yoga, or Kundalini energy, and that's done. Kundalini yoga. If you want to do some Kundalini yoga, there's it's available on my Patreon there in the Self-Transformation Challenge. It's the whole morning practice is basically Kundalini yoga, so it's really powerful stuff, guys. Really gets you empowered and invigorated in the morning with some stretching and some breath work and things like that. It's great stuff. So Kundalini, you'll hear people say that Kundalini is the life force energy of the universe. That is false. The life force energy of the universe is the chi, or the prana, the chi, that kind of energy, and that's in the navel center. The Kundalini is stored in the spinal column at the base of your spine, at the coccyx, or the sacrum, basically the base of your spine. So, yeah, and that rises up the spinal column in a, like that, spirals up until it gets to the higher self, or the third eye and the crown chakra. And so, yeah. So Kundalini is actually not the life force energy of the universe. Kundalini energy is the human psychological energy within the body. So yeah, this is our psyche, our psychological energy. And so, so whenever you work with Kundalini, whenever you work with Kundalini, the Kundalini energy, you're not building Kundalini. You're not like absorbing Kundalini. You're not like you're not building the energy, the Kundalini energy. What you're doing is, with Kundalini yoga, you're cleaning that Kundalini energy. You're cleaning it so it'll be more pure, more refined, more conscious, more caring, more empathetic with others, more more of a well-rounded human being, instead of being stuck in your narcissism or your self-absorption, your victim mentality, things like that. That's what Kundalini does. It gets you out of your victim mentality and cleans all that psychological energy out of your body. Cleans the energy, basically. So, and it purifies it. So yeah, Kundalini goes into the unconscious, and it basically defrags it. It basically scrubs it with a Brillo pad. It basically gets rid of all the gunk off of your unconscious, and basically presents you with like a clean, with consciousness, bringing the gunk from your unconscious into your conscious, so you can see it, so you can be aware of it, so you can, work through your issues and process them. So, yeah. So, again, that's available at the Self-Transformation Challenge. You're at patreon.com/GoBoTheShaman. Go subscribe there, guys. It's really powerful stuff. If you want to wait for the Cosmic Qigong, I don't blame you. That's another great program, but, yeah. So, yeah, just, if you're interested in the stuff that I'm teaching, go ahead and subscribe. Doesn't really cost you anything. Unless you consider $55 a month to be, too expensive or whatever. And that's part of the reason that I'm making that Cosmic Qigong available at $30 a month, because that's a more reasonable price point for somebody who's just getting into these practices, who's just barely getting into this stuff. And so that's very reasonable price point, that $30 a month, that the Cosmic Qigong. And it's powerful stuff too, guys. The Cosmic Qigong is what I started learning. I did that, first before I did anything else, and really powerful. So if you're thinking about doing the Self-Transformation Challenge, I would recommend pairing so if you just wanted to do the morning practice from the Self-Transformation Challenge, I would pair the Cosmic Qigong with that Kundalini Yoga morning exercise, and just do the morning practice, and then do the Cosmic Qigong right after. I did that, in fact, because I'm getting into the Cosmic Qigong again. I actually did that this morning. I did the Kundalini Yoga, and then I did the Cosmic Qigong. It's great stuff. Really, really beautiful healing energy. A lot of healing energy there. It just makes me zone out and just feel amazing. So it's great stuff. Anyway, let's see how long are we going on this one? Yeah, hour 13 minutes so far. So definitely need to end it here, guys. So, I appreciate you watching till the end. Shout out the people who actually watch to the end. That's amazing of you. Most people just watch for like 15 minutes, so shout out to you. Alright, guys, we will end it here, and we will talk to you later. Remember, click the links. If you want an astrology reading, go to vincent.thunderwizard.com. If you want to join this, then go to patreon.com/GoBoTheShaman. Be adding the Cosmic Qigong by the end of the month, I would say. So let's count on that. Peace, guys. Love y'all.